Alright, ladies and gentlemen. My god, let me adjust the camera real quick. I'm not sure if you guys can actually read it, but I'm sure you guys are just here for my voice either way. And the good old vibe, hello! Haha, Taddy, good to see ya! So, yes, we have a very peculiar kind of stream layout today, honestly. So, I was thinking, what if, let me cook, hold on. What if, you guys know those single divorced mother books? You know, you see those on the library or something, and there's always like a hot shirtless man on the cover. It's usually lots of touchy-feely romance for the good old divorced auntie. And yep, we got it. We got it.
Blemish, man. Please.
Exactly, Teddy. Like, listen. So I ask Mama VC, hey mom, alright, what authors do you usually look up? And she said, okay, so usually I get an ebook file of like Nora Roberts. Hold on, she sent me a list. She sent me a list, bless her. She's you know what, Mama VC is great. Absolutely happy. So let's see, where is Mama VC? So she usually reads books from Nora Roberts, Lisa Kleypas, and Julian Quinn, and a lot more. And I was thinking, okay, cheap viewers, hey, Joya, thank you for the ads, but I'm gonna have to ban ya. Bless your soul. We got a bot. Unbelievably, we got a bot. That is amazing. My God, surprisingly, we've only had like 3. Actually, that's our first bot. Unironically, that's our first bot. We only had 2 advertisers and 1 guy who violated the rules. Wow. Okay, that aside, yes. This is the Bride Quartet Collection, a collection of 4 books and 1,000 goddamn pages. Of 4 books by Nora Roberts, the Bride Quartet Collection. This is the first book in the series, which is A Vision in White. And after that is Bed of Roses, Savor the Moment, and Happy Ever After. Kill the bots! Yeah, man. Hey, Daddy, in your name and your honor, I will kill those bots. I will kill those goddamn bots. Bless ya, man. Bless ya. Begin the purge. Indeed, brother. Alright, so I'm gonna have a scoop of my breakfast because I have not eaten yet. Hold on. I'm just gonna scoop my fried rice and tuna meal. Woo, yippee! Honestly, I haven't had like tuna in ages, so. Alright. I'm gonna go hydrate and I'm gonna get reading. Apparently, the first book is around 300 pages. Ha. And the other books are 200, 200, 300. Hell yeah, I'm looking forward to this. So. Pardon me, I just hydrated there for a minute. So, I am gonna... So, interestingly... Hey, Taddy, I'm sure you know this. So, interestingly... A lot of channels do have the self-promo thing. You know, the good old self-promo thing. That, hey, you may as well post in. And you know what? Fuck it, dude. We'll self-promo in whatever channel we can. Because, it's a special event. It's absolutely a special event. Okay, there we go. There are at least like 3 channels I know that have the self promotion thing, which is great. I love the channels I'm in. We're gonna shout them out if they do visit. There we go. All right, we've self-promoed. We self-promoed. And hello, Okasaki, if you're still here by any chance. Gonna check my Discord before we start reading. Hey, Taddy. Someone caught lacking today's stream. That is true. That is true. Hey, Anta, Mike. Anta, my only mod, my good old trusty mod, is one of the only ones that does redeem the good old first. So, that aside, are you guys ready? Okay, so I'm sure you guys can follow along. You guys let me know if you want the file. Hold on, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna upload the file for you guys. May as well. I've pirated off this. I've pirated off. I've pirated. Pardon me. These 4 files off from the internet, and it's lovely. Absolutely hilariously lovely. So, you know what? Screw it. I'm uploading this for you guys. I'm gonna share the good old Google Drive link. Hold on. My god, it literally is just 4 megabytes. Imagine that. Wow. 1,000 pages. 1,100 pages. And it's only 4 megabytes. That's amazing. Alright, I'm gonna share the file. Okay, copy link. Let's see. Restricted? Nah, this is a public thing. Hell yeah. Begin the purge indeed, man. Begin the purge indeed. So, book. Nora Roberts. The Bride Quartet book series. I'm pretty sure I might get banned for this, for pirating for pirating books on the internet, which is it is gonna be a very curious thing to do, but you know what, screw it. We'll do our best. And honestly, this is one of the interesting contents that I've wanted to, do for a while. Okay, bang. Let's see if I get banned. There we go. Pinned. Feel free to follow along if ever you're that interested. So, here we are. So, Nora Roberts is one of the authors that my mom has always followed, and interestingly, it's funny. Like, okay, one more ramble before I start. It's odd, isn't it? Like, usually for us lonely lads, we look toward, in the 21st century, us lads would look forward to we would look forward to anime, or we'd search pictures of our favorite waifu. But back in the day, single mothers and touch-starved wives would search this up. They would buy these things. They would buy these absolutely hilariously immersive books of romance. And wow, the coping mechanisms really vary, but it's really interesting. So, let's get started. So here we are, Nora Roberts, Bride Quartet Collection, Book 1, Prologue. By the time she was 8, Mackenzie Elliott had been married 14 times. Wow. She'd married each of her 3 best friends, as both bride and groom, her best friend's brother under his protest, 2 dogs, 3 cats, and a rabbit. She had served countless other weddings as a maid of honor. Bridesmaid, groomsman, best man, and officiant. Though the dissolutions were invariably amicable, none of the marriages lasted beyond an afternoon. The transitory aspect of marriage came as no surprise to Mac, as her own parents boasted 2 each so far. Wedding day wasn't her favorite game, but she kind of liked being the priest, or the reverend, or the justice of the peace. Or, after attending her father's second wife's nephew's bar mitzvah, the rabbi. Plus, she enjoyed the cupcakes, or fancy cookies, and fizzy lemonade always served at the reception. It was Parker's favorite game, and wedding day always took place on the Brown estate with its expensive gardens, pretty groves, and silvery pond. In the cold Connecticut winters, the ceremony might take place in front of the roaring fires inside the burning house. They had simple weddings and elaborate affairs, royal weddings, star-class elopements, circus themes, and pirate ships, of all things. All ideas were seriously considered and voted upon, and no theme or costume too outrageous. Still, with 14 marriages under her belt, Mac understandably grew a bit weary of wedding day, until she experienced her seminal moment. For her 8th birthday, Mackenzie's charming and mostly absent father sent her, a Nikon camera. She never expressed any intent in photography, and initially pushed it away with the other odd gifts he'd given or sent since the divorce. But Mac's mother told her mother, and Grandma muttered and complained about the feckless, useless Joffrey Elliot and the inappropriate gift of an adult camera for a young girl who'd be better off with a Barbie doll. As she habitually disagreed with her grandmother on principle, Mac's interest in the camera peaked to annoy Grandma, who is visiting for the summer instead of being in her retirement community in Scottsdale, where Mac strongly believed she belonged. Mac hauled the Nikon around with her. She toyed with it, experimented. She took pictures of her room, of her feet, of her friends. Shots were blurry and dark, or fuzzy and washed out. With her lack of success and her mother's impending divorce from her stepfather, Mac's interest in the Nikon began to wane. Even years later, she couldn't say what prompted her. Actually, hold on. I'm not sure if you guys can actually hear me. I hope y'all's can hear me. Let me double check real quick. Yeah, everything looks okay on my end. You guys let me know if you can't actually hear me. That'd be hilarious if I were muted the whole time. Every detail of the traditional garden wedding had been planned. Emmeline as the bride and Laurel as the groom would exchange their vows beneath the rose arbor. Emma would wear the lace veil and train Parker's mother had made out of an old tablecloth, while Harold, Parker's aging and affable golden retriever, walked her down the garden path to give her away. A selection of Barbies, Kens, and Cabbage Patch Kids, along with a variety of stuffed animals, lined the path as guests. Sounds good? Hey, good to know, dearest Daddy. Interestingly, I'm sure you guys can recognize it by now. We are not the target audience. As I've mentioned before, yes, the target audience for this kind of game, yes, these novels is single divorced moms. This is intended for women who are at least 30 plus. And interestingly, probably from the previous generation too. So if ever you're getting bored, feel free to click the hell out. But interestingly, I'm getting invested. So feel free to stay by and, watch me finish this book. Parker rolled her eyes. I'll get him. You're not supposed to see the bride before the wedding. It's bad luck, Mac. You need to fix Emma's veil and get her a bouquet. Lauren and I'll get Mr. Fish out of the tree. I'd rather go swimming, Mac said as she gave Emma's veil an absent tug. We can go after I get married. I guess. Aren't you tired of getting married? Oh, I don't mind. And it smells good. And it smells so good out here. Everything's so pretty. Mac gave Emma the crutch of dandelions and wild violets, as they were allowed to pick. You look pretty. It was invariably true. Emma's dark, shiny hair tumbled under the white lace. Her eyes sparkled a deep, deep brown as she sniffed the weed bouquet. Excuse me. She was tanned, sort of all golden, Mac thought, and scowled at her own milk-white skin. The curse of a redhead, her mother said, as she got her carroty hair from her father. At 8, Mac was tall for her age and skinny as a stick, with teeth already trapped in hated braces. She thought that beside her, Emmeline looked like a gypsy princess. Parker and Laurel came back, giggling with a feline best man clutched in Parker's arms. You know what? I have a curious idea. Fuck it. I am gonna use the female voice for narrating the dialogue. Pardon me, I'm gonna hydrate for this. Hold on. Please hold. You know what? I'm gonna switch up the good old distraction game. Feel free to redeem change distraction game in case you guys wanted to. For now, we are. It would be funny. Like, hold on. Hello? In case y'alls are starting to get down bad and getting distracted. Hey, jingle jingle. GTA 5 Mega Ramp gameplay. TikTok brain rot. Man. Absolutely love being a VTuber. It's great. Being a streamer is amazing, especially a 3D one where I have control over this 3D space. So, that aside. Where was I? Parker and Laura came back giggling with a feline best man clutched in Parker's arms. Everybody has to take their places. Parker poured the cat into Laurel's arms. Mac, you need to get dressed. Emma, I don't want to be maid of honor. Mac looked at the poofy Cinderella dress draped over a garden bench. That thing's scratchy and it's hot. Why can't Mr. Fish be the maid of honor and I'll be best man? Because pardon me. Because it's already planned. Everybody's nervous before a wedding. Parker flipped back before long brown pigtails. Then picked up a dress to inspect it for tears or stains. Satisfied, she pushed it at Mac. It's okay. It's going to be a beautiful ceremony with true love and happy ever after. My mother says happy ever after's a bunch of bull. There was a moment of silence after Mac's statement, understandably. The spoken word divorce seemed to hang in the air. I don't think it has to be. Her eyes full of sympathy, Parker reached out and ran her hand along Mac's bare arm. I don't want to wear the dress. I don't want to be a bridesmaid. Okay, that's okay. We can have a pretend maid of honor. Maybe you could take pictures. Mac looked down at the camera she'd forgotten hung around her neck. They never come out right. Maybe it will this time. It'll be fun. You can be the official wedding photographer. Take one of me and Mr. Fish, Laurel insisted, and pushed her face and the cats together. Take one, Mac. With little enthusiasm, Mac lifted the camera and pressed the shutter. We should have thought of this before. Pardon me. You can take formal portraits of the bride and groom and more pictures during the ceremony. Busy with a new idea, Parker hung the Cinderella costume on the hydrangea bush. It'll be good. It'll be fun. You need to go down the path with the bride and Harold. Try to take good ones. I'll wait and start the music. Let's go. And for context, Mac is currently the main character. She's 8 years old. She's playing a lot of playtime marriages. It's one of the pastimes of young girls at her age. So it's interesting. It is interesting. There would be cupcakes and lemonade, and Mac reminded herself. And swimming later and fun. It didn't matter if the pictures were stupid, and didn't matter that her grandmother was right and she was too young for the camera. It didn't matter that her mother was getting divorced again, or that her stepfather, who'd been okay, had already moved out. It didn't matter that happy ever after was bull, because it was all pretend anyway. She tried to take pictures of Emma and the obliging Harold. Imagine getting the film back and seeing the other blurry figures and smudges of her thumb, like always. When the music started, she felt bad that she didn't put on the scratchy dress and given Emma a maid of honor, just because her mother and grandmother had put her in a bad mood. So she circled around to stand at the side and tried harder to take a nice picture of Harold walking Emma down the garden path. It looked different through the lens, she thought. The way she could focus on Emma's face, the way the veil lay over her hair, and the way the sun shined through the lace was pretty. She took more pictures as Parker began the dearly beloved as the Reverend whistled down, and as Emma and Laurel took hands, and Harold curled up to sleep and snore at their feet. As a context, Harold is the family dog. She noticed how bright Laurel's hair was and how the sun caught the edges of it beneath the tall black hat she wore as a groom. How Mr. Fish's whiskers... and turns out, yes, Mr. Fish is the cat. Mr. Fish's whiskers twitched as he yawned. When it happened much inside of Mac as out. Her three friends grouped under the lush white curve of the arbor. Pardon me. A triangle of pretty young girls. Some instinct had Mac shifting her positions just slightly, tilting the camera just a bit. She didn't know it as composition, only that it looked nicer through the lens. And the blue butterfly fluttered across her range of vision to land on the head of a butter yellow dandelion in Emma's bouquet. The surprise and pleasure struck the three faces that triangle under the white roses almost as one. Mac pressed the shutter. She knew. The photograph wouldn't be blurry and dark or fuzzy and washed out. Her thumb wouldn't be blocking the lens. She knew exactly what the picture would look like. Knew her grandmother had been wrong after all. Maybe happy ever after was bull. But she knew she wanted to make pictures of moments that were happy. Because then they were ever after. We are finished with the prologue and we start with chapter 1. On January 1st, Mac rolled over to smack her alarm clock and ended up face down on the floor of her studio. I assume she has been aged up. This is our protagonist, Mac. Shit. Happy New Year. She lay groggy and baffled until she remembered she'd made it upstairs into bed and the alarm was from her computer set to wake her at noon. She pushed herself to stagger onto the kitchen and the coffee maker. Oh my god, I can see the chapter 1. We're already getting a little spicy. Why did people want to get married on New Year's Eve? Why would they make a formal ritual out of holiday designed for marathon drinking and probably inappropriate sex? And they just had to drag family and friends into it, and not to mention wedding photographers. And I assume our protagonist Mac has landed her profession as a wedding photographer. Of course, when the reception had finally ended at 2 a.m., she could have gone to bed like a sane person instead of uploading the shots, reviewing them, spending nearly 3 or more hours on the Hinz Myers wedding photos. But oh boy, she got in some good ones, a few great ones. Or they were all crap and she judged them in a euphoric blur. No, they were good shots. She added 3 spoons of sugar to the black coffee and drank it while standing at the window, looking at the snow blanketing the gardens and lawns of the Brown estate. They'd done a good job on the wedding, she thought. And maybe Bob Hines and Mickey Myers would take a clue from that and do a good job on the marriage. Jesus, what a roast. Either way, the memories of the day wouldn't fade. The moments, big and small, were captured. She'd refine them, finesse them, print them. Bob and Vicky would revisit the day, those images next week or 60 years from next week. That, she thought, was as potent as sweet black coffee on a cold winter day. Opening a cupboard, she pulled a cup of Pop-Tarts. Nice. And eating one where she stood, went over her schedule for the day. Clay McPherson, Rod and Allison, wedding at 6, which meant the bride and her party would arrive by 3, the groom by 4. That gave her until 2 for the pre-event summit meeting on the main house. Time enough to shower, dress, and go over her notes. Check and recheck her equipment. Her last check of the day's weather called for sunny skies, high of 32. 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh my god. You American bozos, that's crazy. She should be able to get some nice preparation shots during natural light and maybe talk Allison, if she was game, into a bridal portrait on the balcony with the snow in the background. Mother of the bride, Mac remembered, Dorothy, call me Dottie, was on the pushy and demanding side, but she'd be dealt with. If Mac couldn't handle her personally, God knew Parker would. Parker could and did handle anyone and anything. Parker's drive and determination had turned Vows into one of the top wedding and event planning companies in the state in a 5-year period. It had turned the tragedy of her parents' deaths and the gorgeous Victorian home and the stunning grounds of the Brown estate into a thriving and unique business. And Mac thought she swallowed the last of the Pop-Tart. She herself was one of the reasons. And she moved into the studio towards the stairs, and her upstairs bed and bath stopped at one of her favorite photos. The glowing, ecstatic bride with her face lifted, arms stretched, palms up, caught in the shower of pink rose petals. Cover of today's bride, Mac thought, because I'm just that good. In her thick socks, flannel pants, and sweatshirt, she climbed the stairs to transform herself into the tired PJ-clad Pop-Tart addict into sophisticated photojournalist. Wedding photojournalist, rather. She ignored her unmade bed. Why make it when we were just going to mess it up again? And the bedroom clutter. The hot shower worked with the sugar and caffeine to clear out any remaining cobwebs, so she could put her mind seriously to today's job. She had a bride who she was interested in trying to get the creative, passive-aggressive MOB, who she thought she knew best. A groom so dazzling in love she'd do anything to make this bride happy. And both her B and G were seriously photogenic. Bride and groom, I suppose. The last fact made the job both a pleasure and a challenge. Just how could she make her clients a photo journey of their day that was spectacular and uniquely theirs? Bride's colors, she thought, flipping through her mental files as she washed her short, shaggy crop of red hair. Silver and gold, elegant and glamorous even. She'd had a look at today's flowers and the cake, both getting her finishing touches today. The flavors and the linens, attendants' wardrobes. Hold on, pardon me. She had a copy of the playlist from the band with the first dance, mother and son, father and daughter glances highlighted. So she thought for the next several hours, her world would revolve around Rod and Allison. She chose her suit, her jewelry, her makeup, with nearly the same care as she chose her own equipment. Loaded, she went to make a short trek from the pool house that held her studio and her little apartment to the main house. Hold on, one of my friends is discording me. Nah, man, I do not want to watch a pirated ass low quality cam version of Inside Out 2. Alright, hold on. I'm just gonna copy paste a few more images before I go. Alright, we're good to go. The snow sparkled, crushed diamonds over Ehrman, and the air was cold and clean as mountain ice. She definitely had to get some outside shots, daylight and evening. Winter wedding, white wedding, snow on the ground, ice glistening on the trees, just dripping from the denuded willows over the pond. And there the fanciful old Victorian with its myriad roof lines, the arch, and porthole windows, rising and spreading soft blue against the hard shell of sky. Its terraces and generous portico heralded the season with their festoons of light and greenery. Honestly, props to Nora Roberts, the author here. Holy cow. They literally just romanced. They actually just romanced Victorian architecture. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. So, that aside. And good old rambles aside. Let's adjust my camera. There you go. Perfect. And yes, I have put my VTuber on my bed, which is very comfy. I'm very comfy right now, and I hope you guys are too. And yes, I'm wearing shoes to bed, because honestly, it takes a while to program the shoes. And why would I have to program me removing my shoes? Just gonna put it out of frame in the meantime. So, where were we? She studied as she often did as she walked through the shoveled paths. She loved the lines of it, the angles of it, with its subtle touches of pale yellow, creamy white, picked out in that soft, subtle blue. It had been as much home to her as her own growing up. Often so, she admitted, as her own run on her mother's capricious whims. Parker's parents had been warm, welcoming, loving, and, Mac thought now, steady. They had given her a calm port in the storm of her own childhood. That's interesting. Pardon me, just hydrating. She'd grieved as much as her friend at their loss nearly 7 years before. Now, the Brown estate was her home, her business, her life, and a good one on every level. What could be better than doing something you loved and doing it with the best friends you'd ever had? She went in through the mudroom to hang her outdoor gear and circled around to take a peek into Laurel's. Laurel's? Wow, that's a confusing name, honestly. Laurel's domain. Her friend and her partner stood on a step stool, meticulously adding silver calla lilies to the 5 tiers of a wedding cake. Each flower bloomed at the base of a gold acanthus leaf to a glimmering, elegant effect. That's a winner, McVeigh. Laurel's hand was as steady as a surgeon's as she added the next lily. Her sunny hair was twisted at the back of her head into a messy knot that somehow suited the angular triangle of her face. As she worked, her eyes, bright as bluebells, had narrowed concentration. Pardon me. I'm so glad we went for this lily centerpiece instead of the bride and groom topper. It makes this design. Wait until we get the ballroom and add it. Mac pulled out a camera. It's a good shot for the website, okay? Okay? Sure. Get any sleep? Didn't sit until about 5, but I stayed down until noon. You? Down by 2:30. Up at 7 to finish the groom's cake, the desserts, and this. I'm glad we have 2 weeks before the next wedding. She glanced over. Don't tell Parker I said that. She's up, I presume. She's been in here twice. She'd probably been everywhere twice. I think I heard Emma come in. They may be in the office by now. I'm heading up. Are you coming? 10 minutes. I'll be right on time. On time is late in Parker's world. Mac grinned. I'll try to distract her. Just tell her some things can't be rushed. And the MRB is going to get so many compliments on this cake, she'll stay off her backs. That one could work. Mac started out, winding through to check the entrance foyer and the massive drawing room where the ceremony itself would take place. Emmeline and her elves had already been at work, she noted, undressing from her last wedding and redressing for the new. Every bride had her own vision, and this one had wanted lots of gold and silver ribbon and swag. Oh my god, swag used as a word. When was the release date of this goddamn book? Quartet Nora Roberts. My god, this book was released in 2009. That's hilarious. So swag was very much a word. The fire was set in the drawing room and would be lit before the guests began to arrive. White draped chairs sparkling with silver brows formed row after row. And by the way, good old chat, don't forget we do have the good old fish mini game in case you wanted to play it. Emma had already dressed the mantle with gold candles and silver holders, and the bride's favorite with white calla lilies, massed in tall, thin grass vases. Vases. I'm afraid I'm not British enough to say vases. As Mac circled the room, considered angles, lighting composition, and made more notes, as she walked out and took the stairs to the 3rd floor. As she expected, she found Parker in the conference room of her office, surrounded by her laptop, BlackBerry. Oh my god. Did she just mention a BlackBerry goddamn phone? That is That is absolutely hilarious. You can actually see this is very much a 2009 release of a book. Folders, cell phone, and headset. Her dense brown hair hung in a long tail, sleek and simple. It worked with the suit, a quiet a dove gray that would blend in and complement the bride's colors. Parker missed no tricks. She didn't look up but circled a finger in the air as she continued to work on the laptop. Knowing the signal, Mac crossed to the office counter and filled mugs for the both of them. She sat, laid down on her own file, and opened her own notebook. Parker sat back, smiled, and picked up her mug. It's going to be a great one. No doubt. Roads are clear, weather's good, the bride's up, had breakfast and a massage. The grooms had a workout and a swim. Caterers are on schedule. All attendants are counted for. She checked her watch. Where are Emma and Laurel? Laurel's been putting the finishing touches on the cake, which is stupendous, I'd say. I haven't seen Emma, but she's started dressing the event areas. Pretty. I want outdoor shots, before and after. Pardon me. Don't keep the bride outside for too long before. We don't want her red nose and sniffing. You may have to keep the MOB off my back. Already noted. Emma rushed in, a Diet Coke in one hand and a file in the other. Things hung over and a no-show, so I'm one short. Let's keep this brief, okay? She dropped down at the table. Her curling black hair bounced over the shoulders of her sweatshirt. The bride's suite and the drawing room are dressed, foyer and stairway nearly finished. The bouquet, pardon me, the bouquets, the corsages, and hold on, what the hell is this word? Boutonneries checked. We started in the grand hall and the ballrooms. I need to get back to that. Flower girl? White rose pomander, silver and gold ribbon. I have a halo, roses, and baby's breath ready for the hairdresser. It's adorable. Mac, I need some pictures of the arrangements if you can't fit them in. If not, I'll get them. I'll take care of it. Thanks. The MRB, I'm on it, Parker said. I need to. Emma broke off as Laurel walked in. I'm not late, Laurel announced. Things a no-show, Parker told her. Emma's short. I can fill in. I just need to set up the centerpiece of the cake and arrange the dessert. But I've got time now. Let's go over to the timetable. Wait. Emma lifted her can of Diet Coke. Toast first. A happy new year to us. 4 amazing, stupendous, and very hot women. Best pals ever. Also smart and kick-ass. Laurel raised her bottle of water. To pals and partners. To us. Friendship and brains in 4 parts. Mac added, in the sheer coolness of the hole we've been, and the hole we've made with the vows. And to 2009. Jesus Christ, 2009. Parker lifted her coffee mug. The amazing, stupendous, hot, smart, kick-ass best pals are going to have the best year ever. Damn right. Mac clinked her mug to the rest. To wedding day, to now and always. Then, now, and always. Parker repeated. And now, timetable? I'm on the bride. Mac began from her arrival to switch to groom at his candids during dressing event, poses applies, formal portraits in and out. I'll get the shots of the cake, the arrangements now, and do my setup. All ceremony and wedding party shots separate prior to the ceremony. Post-ceremony, I would only need 45 minutes for the family shots, full wedding party, and the bride and groom. Floral dressing in bride and groom suite complete by 3. Floral dressing in foyer, parlor, staircase, grand hall, and ballroom by 5. Parker grinned and glanced at Gemma. We'll be done. Videographer arrives at 5:30. Guest arrivals from 5:30 to 6. Wedding musicians string quartet to begin 5 shortly. The band will be set up at the ballroom by 6:30. MOG attended by Sun, escorted by 5:50. MRB escorted by son-in-law directly after. Groom and groomsmen at place at 6. Parker read off the schedule. FOB, bride and party in place by 6. Descent and procession. Ceremony and duration 25 minutes. Procession family moments. Guests escorted to Grand Hall at 6:25. Bar opens, Laurel said. Music. Fast food. 6:25 and 7 to 10. Photographs. Announcement of family. Wedding party and the new Mr. and Mrs. by 7:15. Dinner, toast. Emma continued, "We've got it, Fox. I want to make sure to move to the ballroom and have the first dance by 8:15. Parker continued, "The bride especially wants her grandmother there for the first dance after the father-daughter and the mother-son dance, for her father and mother to dance. She's 90 and may fade early." Jesus! Hey, Parker! She's 90 and may fade early, Jesus Christ. "And if we may have the cake cutting at 9:30, the grandmother should make that too. She's a sweetheart," Mac put in. "I got some nice shots of her and Allison at the rehearsal. I've got it in my notes to get some of them today. Personally, I think she'll stay for the whole deal." "I hope she does." Cake and dessert served. Dancing continues. Bouquet toss at 10:15. "Tossing bouquet is set," Emma added. Garter toss. Dancing continues. Last dance at 10:50. Bubble glowing. Bright and groom depart. Event and 11. Parker changed and checked her watch again. "Let's get it done. Emma and Laurel need to change. Everyone remember their headsets." Parker's phone vibrated and she glanced at the readout. "MRB again, 4th call this morning. Have fun with that." Mac, pardon me, said and escaped. She scouted room by room, staying out of the way of Emma and her crew as they swarmed over their house with flowers, ribbons, and volley. Not really sure if that's how you say the word. She took shots of Laurel's cake, Emma's arrangements, and framed others in her head. It was a routine she never allowed to become routine. She knew once it became rote, she'd miss shots, opportunities, and bog down on fresh angles and ideas. And whenever she felt herself dulling, she thought of a blue butterfly landing on a dandelion. That's beautiful. That is a good nod to the prologue. I definitely need to hydrate here. We're on page 30. The air smelled of roses and lilies and rang with the voices and footfalls. Light streamed through the tall windows and the lovely beams and shafts, and glittered on the gold and silver ribbons. "Headset, Mac." Parker rushed down the main entrance. "The bride's arriving." As Parker hurried down to meet the bride, Mac jogged up. She swung out the front terrace, ignoring the cold as the white limo sailed down the drive. As it eased to stop, she shifted her angle, set, and waited. "Maid of honor and mother of the bride." Move, just a little," she muttered. Allison stepped out. The bride wore jeans, Uggs, and a battered suede jacket and a bright red scarf. Mac zoomed in, changed stops. "Hey, Allison." The bride looked up, surprise turned to an amazed delight, and to Mac's pleasure, Allison threw up both arms, tossed back her head, and laughed. And there, Mac thought, as she caught the moment, was the beginning of the journey. Within 10 minutes, the bride's suite, once Parker's own bedroom, bustled with people and confusion. 2 hairdressers oh, pardon me, that's my mic glitching the hell out. If y'all want to support me in my streams to buy a new mic, hey, feel free. Feel free to check out my exclamation point dick for the good old donation options. That's on twitch.tv. Just feel free to chat exclamation point dick. It's an inside joke between me and my chat. And there Mac thought, as she caught the moment, was the beginning of the journey. Within 10 minutes, the bride's suite, once Parker's own bedroom, bustled with people and confusion. 2 hairdressers plied their tools, and talent curling, straightening, styling, while others wielded paints and pots, rather. Utterly female, Mac thought as she moved through the room unobtrusively, the scents, the motions, the sounds. The bride remained on the focus. No nerves on this one, Mac determined. Allison was confident, beaming, and currently chattering like a magpie. The MOB, however, was a different story. But you have such beautiful hair. Don't you think you should leave it down, rather? At least some of it, maybe. An updo suits the headdress better. Relax, Mom. Mom of Bride, which is interesting, MOB. I never really actually knew this acronym right here. An updo suits the headdress better. Relax, Mum. It's too warm in here. I think it's too warm in here, and Mandy should take a quick nap. I think she's gonna act up. I just know it. She'll be fine. Allison glanced toward the flower girl. Interestingly, yes, I am switching towards male, American, and British female. I really think, ladies! Parker wheeled in a cart of champagne with a pretty fruit and cheese tray. The men are on their way. Allison, your hair's gorgeous, absolutely regal. She poured a flute and offered it to the bride. Honestly, I'm not exactly sure what a flute means when you serve drinks, but okay, we keep rolling our punches. I really don't think she should drink before the ceremony. She barely ate today, and Miss McPherson, I'm glad you're dressed and ready. You look fabulous. If I could just steal you for a few minutes, I'd love for you to take a look at the drawing room before the ceremony. We want to make sure it's perfect, don't we? I'll have her back in no time. Parker rushed champagne into the MOB's hand and steered her out of the room. Allison said, "Whew," and laughed. For the next hour, Mac split herself between the bride and groom's suites, between perfume and tulle, cufflinks and cummerbunds. The hell is a cummerbund? She eased back into the bride's domain and circled around the attendants as they dressed and helped one another's dress, and found Allison alone standing in front of her wedding dress. It was all there, Mac thought as she quietly framed the shot. The wonder, the joy, with just that tiny tug of sorrow. She snapped the image as Allison reached out to brush her fingers over the sparkle of the boudies. Decisive moment, Mac knew, when everything the woman felt reflected on her face. Then it passed. Allison glanced over. I didn't expect to feel this way. I'm so happy. I'm so in love with Rhodes. I'm so ready to marry him. But there's this little clutch right here. She rubbed her fingers right above her heart. It's not nerves. Sadness, just a touch. One phase of your life ends today. You're allowed to be sad, to say goodbye. I know what you need. Wait here. A moment later, Mac led Allison's grandmother over and once again stepped back. Youth and age, she thought. Beginnings and endings, connections and constancy. And love. Sticky! I think a flute drink is a tall, narrow glass for serving champagne and champagne cocktails. Sticky, good to see you. Yes, I'm currently doing a very unconventional stream. And yes, the good old GTA 5 gameplay is still playing. Hey, focus on me, eyes on me, ring ring. GTA 5 gameplay. And good to see you. And yes, we are doing a romance novel stream. And oh my god, thank you for the good old care package. I really do appreciate it. God damn it, Anta. And yes, we are doing a good old romance book reading stream. And yes, in case you guys want the link to the book, do let me know if the Google Drive link works on the pinned comment. And yes, that is Bride Quartet or Nora Roberts. That is all due respect, a pirated copy of all 4 books, all 1,000 pages. And Sticky, Anta, I hope you both have been well. And if you guys want to change the good old distraction game, feel free to do so. And in the meantime, yes, we are currently reading a book of Nora Roberts. So currently this book that you see right here is a book about four best friends. Four best friends named Mac, Allison, and hold on, let me take note of the characters real quick. I'm probably gonna have to take note here. Genuinely. Hold on. So, Mackenzie is our main character, but we nickname her Mac. She's nicknamed Mac, and of course there is Allison, and there's an Allison, and I'm gonna recap the characters. And Emma, just four best friends. They are wedding receptionists, and currently we are on page 32, if I'm not mistaken. We are on page 32, and they are currently planning a wedding ceremony. I think it's I believe they. So Mackenzie is the photographer, and her other three friends are setting up the location, the cake, and among other things. I'm just lurking, doing something in the background. Hey, no problem, no problem. Hey, listen, y'all. I understand. Listen, I know my brand. I am second monitor content. I am 10th tab content. Please, feel free to lurk. You are meant to lurk in my stream. Honestly, as much as I do appreciate you guys being very active and whatnot, I understand. Listen, listen, what I'm doing right now is a very much heavy second monitor content. I don't really expect you guys to stay. And oh, hold on. I almost forgot the head pats. Thanks for the head pats, Sticky and Anta. I really do appreciate it. I am gonna go clean my eyeglasses. Holy. Yeah, I can actually see the moment where like the tracking cuts off. So, where was I? Wow. I am gonna go hydrate, because honestly, narrating an audiobook for y'all, yes, I definitely need a lot of water just to, keep my throat not dry. Holy. Alright, y'all, feel free to lurk and stay by, and feel free to fish while I narrate this whole goddamn book. I really do appreciate you guys stopping by. I genuinely mean that. So, where was I? I'm just gonna double check that I bookmarked my own place pretty well here. And by the way, Sticky, I really appreciate you actually defining a flute for me. Absolutely didn't know that. Okay, let's see. Where did we stop by? There we go. And yes, interestingly, I am switching in between both the female voice and the male voice for the good old narrative. So, hold on. Decisive moment. Mac knew when everything the woman felt reflected on her face. Then it passed. Oh, hold on. We were not there. A moment later, Mac led Allison's grandmother over and once again stepped back. Youth and age, she thought, beginnings and endings, connections and constancy, and love. She snapped into the embrace, but that wasn't it. She snapped into the glitter of her tears, and still no. Then Allison lowered her forehead to her grandmother's, and even as her lips curved, a single tear slid down her cheek, while the dress glowed and glittered behind them. Perfect, the blue butterfly. She took candids of the ritual while the bride dressed in the formal portraits of exquisite white natural light. As she'd expected, Allison was game to brave the cold on the terrace. Now, let me adjust the camera real quick. There we go. I think that'll suffice. She passed Parker in the hallway as she strode back to the bride. I need the groom and party down. Pardon me. I need the groom and the party downstairs, Mac. We're running 2 minutes behind. Oh my god, Mac said in mock horror and ducked into the bride's suite. Guests are seated, Parker announced in her ear moments later. Groom and groomsmen taking position. Emma gathered the bridal party. On it. Mac slipped out to take her stand at the bottom of the stairs as Emma organized the bridesmaids. Party ready. Cue the music. Cueing music. Parker said, "Start the procession." The flower girl would clearly be fine without the nap. Mac decided as the child clearly danced her way down the staircase. Pardon me, that was me burping. She paused like a vet at Laurel's signal and continued at a dignified pace in her fairy dress across the foyer, into the enormous parlor and down the aisle formed by the chairs. The attendants followed the shimmering silver and at last the maid of honor in gold. Mac crouched to aim her camera up as the bride and her father stood at the top of the stairs holding hands. As the bride's music swelled, he lifted her daughter's hand to his lips, then to her cheek. And by the way, y'all, yes, sound alerts are on. In case y'all wanted to mess around with me. Yes, sound alerts are on. They are absolutely still on. Even as she took the shot, Mac's eyes stung. Where was her own father, she wondered. Jamaica? Switzerland? Cario? She pushed the thought and the ache that came with it aside and did her job. Using Emma's candlelight, she captured joy and tears, the memories, and stayed invisible and separate. Chapter 2. She worked at night because she had full day of appointment, and because she liked working at night, alone in her own space at her own pace. Honestly, same, man. As a night shift worker, I absolutely love working nights. It is so comfy here, man. So, mornings were for coffee at that first intense blood-surging hit of it, and days were often for clients, for shoots, for meetings. Honestly, are you guys affected by coffee? I'm honestly not affected by coffee whatsoever. Like, I mean, they do give me heart palpitations, but they don't actually make me energized. Like, you know, cartoonishly energized. You guys get what I'm saying? Because honestly, I cannot get cartoonishly energized by coffee. Usually, honestly, coffee makes me sleepy, interestingly. Like, even the blackest of coffee would not be able, you know, actually affect me. I don't drink coffee. Yeah, that's understandable. Honestly, I like coffee for the taste. I don't even like it for the effect. Interestingly. Nights alone in her studio, she could focus entirely on images, how to select, to improve, to enhance. Though she worked almost exclusively digital, she retained the dark room mindset when it came to creating the print. She layered, highlighting, shadowing. She removed the blemishes or hotspots to create her base of her master print. To this, she could refine specific areas, alter density and contrast. Step by step, she would shape the print, sharpening or softening to suit the mood, to create the image that expressed that moment in time until she felt the moment, what she hoped the client would feel. Interestingly, y'all, this book was written and set in 2009. So, that is the age of like BlackBerry phones. BlackBerry phones, and of course Photoshop did definitely exist back then, which is great. But yes, we do have Bluetooth earpieces, actually wired earpieces rather, for, you know, the 4 characters to communicate with each other. But interestingly, Blackberries, imagine that. Were you guys like conscious enough, and did you guys actually own Blackberries back then? Holy crap. My sister actually owned a Blackberry back then. It's interesting. So the main character does own like a Blackberry for her like main piece of like communication. A Blackberry and an earpiece to communicate with her 3 besties. So, then, as she did most mornings, Mac sat down at her computer to check her thumbnails to see if her morning self agreed with her night self. That's relatable. She huddled over them in her flannels and thick socks, her bright red hair a forest of spikes and tufts. And in the utter quiet at a wedding, she was most often surrounded by people, by chatter, by emotion. She blocked it or used it as she searched for the right angle, the right tone, the right moment. But here she was alone with the images, one she could perfect. She drank her coffee, ate an apple as concession to the previous morning's Pop-Tart, ha! And studied the hundreds of images she'd captured by the day before, the dozen she'd finessed during the night session. Her morning self congratulated her. God damn it, Anta. I really had to tell you guys about the goddamn sound alerts. And yes, that is the good old fart. I have nerfed the fart. Unfortunately, yes, we do have the paid fart. The paid fart is 75 bits. But honestly, the paid fart is insane. I'm sure you guys know how insane the paid fart is. Persnickety VC. Hold on, let me demo you all the good old paid fart. Yeah, in case you guys have 75 bits to feed me burger money. Hell yeah, here it is. Classic, absolute classic. Okay, that aside. Her morning self congratulated her night self on a job well done. More to do yet, she mused rather, and when she had the best of the best for the clients to consider, she'd give them one more going over before scheduling an appointment with the newlyweds to view the images in slideshow format and make their choices. But that was for another day. In case her memory proved faulty, she checked her calendar before going up to shower and dress for her first appointment. Pardon me. For a studio shoot, jeans and sweater would do, but then she'd have to change for the consultation scheduled that afternoon at the main house. Vow's policy demanded business attire for client consultations. Mac pushed through her closet for black pants and black shirt. She could toss on a jacket after the shoot to meet the dress code. She played with jewelry until she found what suited her mood, slapped on some makeup, and considered the job done. The studio required more attention than a photographer, in her opinion. Elizabeth and Charles, she thought, as she began the trip. Engagement shot. They'd been firm, she'd recalled, at the consult. Formal, simple, straightforward. She wondered why she didn't just get a friend with a point and shoot to take it then. And she recalled now with a quick smirk that those words had nearly come out of her mouth. Before Parker had read her mind and shot her a warning glare. Client's king, she reminded herself, and set her backdrop. They want boring. Boring it is. She hauled in lights, precisioned a diffuser. Boring could at least be pretty. She brought out her tripod, mostly because she felt the clients would expect equipment. Ha! By the time she'd chosen her lenses. Hey, Stinky, I got new emotes. Yeah. Go ahead, Anta. Show me the emote. By the time she'd chosen her lenses, checked her lighting, draped a stool, and her clients knocked at her door. Right on time. She shut the door behind them and blocked a blast of frigid wind. Oh yeah, Hold on, a slight good old tangent. Yes, Anta, I have seen the new Ren emote. Let's adjust the camera real quick. Yes, I have seen the new goddamn emote. It is adorable. There's another one, but not approved. Feel free to send it. Feel free to send it in. And yes, that is adorable. That is absolutely adorable. Was this a commission? Was this a commission, dearest Anta? Holy cow. It's adorable. Paint.net. Rambles. This and two more. Oh, it's a head pat. That's adorable. That's absolutely adorable. Okay, bam. New ramble file. God damn it, that is the wrong ramble file. Paint.net. There we go. That's a good ramble file. Where's our clipboard? There you go. In case you have an HD copy and you want to really show it off to me, feel free. But in the meantime, look at that. Look at this. This is adorable. Ren was doing emotes, $10. Donos for Void. Oh, that's lovely. That's absolutely lovely. Haven't seen Ren stream in a while. You know, a very friendly shout out too. So I paid 15 and got the buy flag and the biz flag. Nice. A very friendly shout out to Squishy Ren, one of the lovely streamers I actually do watch myself in my free time. She's great. She's very friendly. And I'm not gonna shout your ass out, dearest Anta. Fuck you. Until you start streaming, I'm not gonna shout you out. Because your Anta's actual like stream description is so sassy and so rude as well. Why are you even here? She says crazy. That is cute though. That is absolutely cute. And I absolutely hope you and Green Man actually work things out. I hope to goodness me. So, tangent aside. And yes, I actually do have the as you guys can see, I do have the display capture set up. That is the ebook. That is actually the ebook right here. And that is my current screen right here. Yeah, it's great. I absolutely love technology. Technology is absolutely amazing. I absolutely love my job. Alright, gonna adjust the camera back. And, oh, yeah, there we are. Perfect. So, where were we? I gotta go have to hydrate. Okay, yeah. Oh, pardon me. Ow. Pardon me. I'm just gonna go be right back. Take a few bites of my breakfast. Ah, man. Doing an audiobook is a bit of a pain. Holy. Okay, I'm gonna go eat. Hold on, I'm gonna go summon my sandwich real quick. Where's my sandwich? Also gonna save this up for the next time I start eating in stream. Gasp, a sandwich. Where'd my sandwich go? God damn it. Where'd my sandwich go? No! Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna do some tech support for myself. There's the sandwich. Sandwich is right above me. There we go. Come on, sandwich. It's okay. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Ah, there we go. Sandwich time. Time for Nick to eat. Gotta take care of myself. Perfect. Okay, I am gonna go eat. I'm a bit hungry. Ah. And yes, I am currently eating fried rice with a good old bunch of canned tuna. Ain't the most healthy meal, but it'll do. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. And y'all, I hope you all have been eating well, especially. I myself have not been eating well because I dove into stream today. I woke up at 5:30 panicking. I woke up at 5:30 today just panicking. Oh shit, I have to start stream. Because usually I just need like 5 minutes. I just need genuinely 5 minutes to set stream up. It's great. I love it. But honestly, as much as I am familiar with my technology and whatnot, I am not familiar with being an adult. I still struggle to feed myself and to get my life together, especially with all my piles of laundry that I have to finish up. Holy. One good thing though, one amazing thing is that, man, I'm very, very happy to be eating my own food. Like, wow, I absolutely love this spicy tuna. Alright, that is more than enough nourishment for me to continue the good old audiobook. I'm gonna go hydrate. Oh no, my face is merging with the sandwich. Pardon me. Ha. And yes, I do understand the fact that a lot of people can actually finish. Yum. Love sandwiches. I do understand the fact that a lot of people can actually finish a book in like 3 or 4 hours, more or less. But honestly, be right back aside. Yes, I am narrating this to you guys, so it's unlikely I'll be able to finish this within the stream. But it is a good story. It is a good story. I'm still waiting for the spicy parts, though. I am still waiting, because honestly, yes, this goddamn book, it did promise some spicy parts, which I am looking forward to narrate with y'all. So, that aside, where were we? Right on time. She shut the door behind them and blocked a blast of frigid wind. Brutal out there today. Let me take your coat. They looked perfect, she thought. Barbie and Ken for the upper class set. The cool, every hair in place blonde. The handsome, polished, and pressed hero. Part of her longed to muss them up just a little, just to make them human. Just to make them feel human. Can I get you some coffee? Pardon me. Can I get you some coffee? She asked. Oh, no, thank you. Elizabeth granted her a smile. We really like to just get into it. We have a full schedule today. As Mac dealt with their outdoor gear, Elizabeth glanced around the studio. This used to be the pool house. That's right. It's interesting. I suppose I expected something more elaborate. Still, she wandered over to study some of the framed photos on the wall. Charles' cousin's wedding here in November was wonderful, and she just raves about you. Oh, pardon me. She just raves about you and your partners. Isn't that right, Charles? Yes, it's what decided us on your company, rather. The wedding planner and I will be working closely today over the next months. Is there anywhere I can freshen up before we start? Elizabeth asked. Absolutely. Mac led the way to her powder room off her studio and wondered just what there was to freshen. So, Charles. Mentally, Mac was loosening the perfectly executed Windsor knot of his tie. Where are you for today? Pardon me. We have a meeting with the wedding planner, and we're taking care of registering. Elizabeth is going to meet with the two of the designers. Your partner recommended her gown. That's exciting. You looked just thrilled, she thought. The way you might for your semi-annual dental visit. It's a lot of details. I suppose you're used to them. Every wedding's the first. Would you mind standing behind the stool here? I can check the lighting and focus while Elizabeth's getting ready. He moved obediently, stood stiff as a poker. Relax, she told him. This will be easier and quicker than you think, and possibly fun. What kind of music do you like? Music? Yeah, let's have some music. She crossed her CD player, chose a disc. Natalie Cole's on Ballads, a romantic classic. How's that? Fine, yeah, that's fine. Mac caught him sneaking a peek at his watch as she went back to pretend to adjust her camera. Have you decided on honeymoon spot yet? We're leaning towards Paris. Do you speak French? For the first time, she smiled easily. Not a word. Well, there's the adventure, she said as Elizabeth came back looking as precisely perfect as she'd had when she'd gone in. The suit was probably Armani and beautifully tailored. The indigo blue color flattered, and Mac imagined Elizabeth had selected Charles' slate gray to set it off. I think we'll start with you sitting, Elizabeth, and with Charles behind you. Just a little to the left, rather, Charles. And Elizabeth, if you'd angle towards the windows just a bit, lean towards Charles, relax your body. Charles, put your hand on her left shoulder, put your hand over his, and it'll show off that spectacular engagement ring. She took a couple shots just to get them over the initial frozen smiles. Angle your head, weight on your back foot, shift your shoulders. Shy, Mac realized he was shy, camera shy, and just a little people shy too. And she was monumentally self-conscious, terrified of not looking exactly right. She tried to put him at ease, asking how they met, how they got engaged, though they'd ask the same questions when they set up the appointment, and received the same answers now. She barely cracked the surface. She could stop now, Mac thought, and give them exactly what they thought they wanted, but it wouldn't be what they needed. She stepped back from the camera. As she did, their bodies relaxed, and Elizabeth turned her head to smile up and over at Charles. She winked at her. Okay, Mac thought. Humans are in there after all. I've got several very nice formal shots. I know that's what you wanted, but I wonder if you'd do something for me. We're really on a schedule, Charles began. It'll take less than 5 minutes. Stand up, Elizabeth. Let me move the stool. She dragged it away and took her camera from the tripod. How about a hug? Not me. Each other. I don't. Hugging is legal in Connecticut, even when you're not engaged. That's a good quote, though. That's a good quote. I'm stealing this. Hugging is legal in Connecticut, even when you're not engaged. I'm screenshotting this, boys. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our first quote. Our first meme. We have our first meme. Man, that is crazy. I am saving this for myself. No hugging before marriage. Man, absolutely love this. Honestly, as a 2000s kid, I'm definitely not the as a 2000s kid, as a 23-year-old man, I am not the target audience for this, but that is hilarious. Hugging is legal in Connecticut, even when you're not engaged. I'm saving this. I am absolutely saving this. What page are we at? Nora Roberts, 2009. Okay, there we are. Gonna MLA quote this thing. This is hilarious. I love this. Give me a minute, y'all. Perfect. I'm getting some memey takeaways from this. Okay, that aside. I'm gonna adjust the camera back. There we go. Hugging is legal in Connecticut, even when you're not engaged. Just a little experiment, and I'll have you out of here in 2 minutes. She grabbed her light meter, checked, and adjusted. Put your right cheek on his chest, but cheat it towards me. Turn your face a little towards me, Mac explained, and look this way. Charles, angle your head down to hers, but tip your chin my way. Take a deep breath and let it go. Just let it go. You're holding on to the person you love, right? Enjoy it. And eyes on me, right on me, and think about what you felt like the first time you kissed. There! Ha ha! The smiles were quick, spontaneous, soft on her part, and just a little sly, and delighted on his. One more, just like that. She got 3 before they stiffened up again. Done. I have several proofs for your approval by... Can't we just see some now? It's digital, isn't it? No, that's Elizabeth. Can't we just see some now? It's digital, isn't it? Elizabeth pressed. I'd just like a quick idea. Mac walked to the computer with the camera and set it up to display. These are raw, but you'll get the gist. Yes. Elizabeth frowned at the screen as Mac started a slow slideshow. Yes, they're nice. And that one. Mac stepped on one of the formals. This? That's what I had in mind. It's very good. We both look good and I like the angle. This one, I think. I'll mark it. Might as well see the rest, so to be sure. Max started the slideshow again. Yes, they're really, really good. Very good. I do think the one I picked is... She trailed off as the shot of them hugging came on screen. Well, that's lovely. Really, really lovely, isn't it? My mother will like the first one you picked. My mother will like the first one you picked. Behind her, Charles rubbed Elizabeth's shoulders. She will, exactly. We'll get it for her, have it framed for her. But she looked at Mac. You were right. I was wrong. This is the one I want. I want to be portrayed in our engagement photo. Remind me I said the first part in September. In September, rather. When I tried to tell you how to do your job. I will. I was wrong too. I think it's going to be a pleasure to work with you after all. It took Elizabeth a moment, but she laughed. She sent them off to Parker. Figured Parker now owes her. She was sending off clients who, for the moment, were at least more open to ideas and direction than they had been. She settled down to complete packages for the clients, one set for proofs, and the other set for complete choices, all displayed in albums. For bride and groom, for mother of the bride, for mother of the groom, and the extra photos, requested by various members of their families and the wedding party. When they were boxed, she had decided she had just enough time for a quick dish of leftover pasta salad before she carted them herself over to the main house. She managed a couple of bites, eating over the sink of frozen fairyland, she thought, staring out the window, everything still and perfect. She grabbed her glass of Diet Coke and started to drink. The cardinal smacked right onto the window, a bang and blur of red. Diet Coke spewed up at the jerk of her hand, splash all over her shirt. She watched the idiot bird wing away. The idiot bird wing away as her heart vibrated in her throat. Then she looked down at her shirt. Damn it. She stripped it off, tossed it on top of her. Stacked wash and dry in the kitchen pantry. In bra and black pants, she wiped up the spill on the counter. Irritated, she grabbed the ringing phone. Since the readout indicated Parker's cell, she answered with an aggrieved, "What?" "Patty Baker's here to pick up her albums." "Well, she's 20 minutes early. I'll be there, and so will they, on time. Keep her occupied," she added as she moved out of the studio. "And don't bug me." She clicked off, turned. Then she stared at the man who stood inside her studio. His eyes popped, she blushed, and with a choked, "Oh my God," she spun around, and with a gunshot crack, smacked straight into the door jamb. Jesus, are you okay?" Mac tossed the phone on the table as she rushed over to where he was currently standing. Yes, fine, sorry." "You bleeding? Oh wow, you really hit your head. Maybe you should sit down." Maybe." And with that, eyes dazed and slightly unfocused, he sort of slid down the wall onto the floor. Mac crouched, brushed at the dark brown hair that was flopped over his forehead. Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting into the spicy shit. Hell yeah. Get ready. Mac crouched, brushed at the dark brown hair that flopped over his forehead and the bleeding scrape that was already growing into an impressive knot. "Okay, it's not cut. You've escaped stitches. It's just really bashed. Boy, you sounded like you've hit the door with a hammer. Ice, maybe? Then, excuse me, I'm not sure if you realize. I wonder if you shouldn't." She saw his gaze aim down and followed it with her own. Good old boob scene. My God. Yep. Currently, Mac is in her bra. Just wearing nothing but her bra and her pants. She saw her gaze aim down and followed it with her own, and noted she considered triage that her barely bra-covered breasts were very close to pressing into his face. Oops, I forgot. Sit there, don't move. She leaped up and dashed away. He wasn't sure if he wasn't sure if he could have moved. Disoriented, bewildered, he sat there where he was, back braced against the wall. Even with the cartoon bird circling over his head, he had to admit they'd have been very pretty breasts. He couldn't help but notice. My God, yep, yeah, here we are. The moment you all have been waiting for. But he wasn't at all sure what to say or do in this current situation. So sitting there, as she had told him, seemed best all around. When she came back with a bag of ice, she had a shirt on, gladly. It was probably wrong to feel the quick tug of disappointment. She crouched down again on what he noticed. Now that her breasts weren't in view, were very long legs. Jesus. Here, try this. She put the ice in his hand and put his hand on his throbbing forehead. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been ruined by this word, throbbing. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, my throbbing dick is out there in the internet. That is my Discord, my Instagram, my card, and my Ko-Fi. That is all my actual that is all my social media sites that you can actually reach out with me. And sat on the back of her haunches like a catcher behind the plate. Her eyes were the green of a magic sea. Who are you? She asked him. What? How many fingers do you see? She held up 2. 12. 12! And smiled. Dimples creased into her cheeks. With a curve of her lips and his heart did a little dance in his chest. No, you don't. Let's try this. What are you doing in my studio, and what were you doing here before you concussed yourself over my boobs? I have an appointment, or Sherry does. Sherry Maguire? He thought. Her smile dimmed down a little, and the dimples disappeared. Okay, wrong place. You want the main house. I'm Mackenzie Elliott. Photography end of the business. I know. I mean, I know who you are. Sherry wasn't very clear, which is usually the case on where. Or when, since your appointment's not... Or when, since your appointment's not until 2. She said she thought 1:30, which I mean she'll get there at 2. I should have gone to Sherry time, or called to confirm myself. Sorry again. It's no problem. It's no problem. She angled her head. His eyes, his very nice eyes, were clear again. How do you know me? Oh, I went to school with Delaney Brown, and with Parker. Well, Parker was a couple years behind us, and you, sort of, for a little while. She shifted closer. She shifted for a closer look at him. Dense, disordered brown hair that needed a style and a trim by most standards. Clear, quiet blue eyes surrounded by a forest of lashes. Straight nose, a strong mouth, and a thinnish face. She was good with faces. Why didn't she place his? I knew most of Dell's friends, I think. We weren't exactly running the same circles, but I tutored him once when we were studying Henry V. Ha! That clicked. Carter, she said, pointing at him. Carter Maguire, you're not marrying your sister, are you? Ha! Sweet home Alabama, Jesus me. What? No. No, I'm a stand-in for Nick. Ah! It's me. Look, it's Nick. I'm a stand-in for Nick. She didn't want to do the whole consulting thing alone, and she got held up. I just don't know what the hell I'm doing here, actually. Being a good brother. She patted his knee. Think you can stand up? Yeah. She straightened, held out a hand to help him. His heart did another dance as their hands met. And by the time he'd gained his feet, his head was beating for the drum of the rhythm. Ach, he said. I bet. Want some aspirin? Oh, only enough to beg. I'll get it. While I do, you can sit down on something that isn't the floor. When she went back in the kitchen, he started to, but the photographs lining the walls caught his eye. Magazine shots, too, he noted, and had to assume them hers. Beautiful brides, sophisticated brides, sexy brides, laughing brides. Some in color, some in atmospheric black and white. And some of that odd, compelling computer trick of a one spot of intense color in a black and white shot. He turned as she came back, and had the errant thought that her hair was like that, an intense spot of color. Do you take anything else photographically? Yes. She handed him 3 pills and a glass of water. But brides are the focal point and the selling point of a wedding business. They're wonderful, creative and individual, but she's the best. He stepped over, gestured to a framed photo of 3 young girls, and the blue butterfly resting on the head of a dandelion. Why? Because it's magic. She stared at him for what seemed like forever. That's exactly right. Well, Carter McGuire, I'm gonna get my coat, and we'll walk over and take our consult. She took the bag of melting ice out of his hand. We'll get you fresh at the main house. Cute, she thought as she went for a coat and a scarf. Very, very cute. Had she noticed that he was cute in high school? Maybe because he was a late bloomer, but he'd bloomed nicely. My God, ladies and gentlemen, page 40 is where the spicy stuff starts. Enough that she'd felt a little twinge of regret when she thought he was a groom. But a B.O.B., brother of the bride, that was a different kettle. My God, Mac is starting to think of shooting her shot. Jesus. She put on the coat, wound the scarf, and remembered the blast of wind earlier, and put on a cap over her head. When she went down, Carter was putting his glass of water in a sink like a good boy. Jesus, like a good boy? Man. Man, that kind of struck me. She picked up the enormous cloth bag holding some of the albums and handed it to him. Here you go. You can carry this. It is heavy. Yes, it is. I've got this one. She picked up the second and smaller one. I've got a braid waiting for finished albums and another one due for her proofs. Main house, like the consult. I want to apologize for just coming in before. I knocked but nobody answered. I heard the music, so I just walked in and then the rest is history. Yes. Don't you want to turn the music off? Right. I stopped hearing it. She grabbed the remote, hit off, and tossed the remote down. Before she could open the door, he moved in and opened it for her. Do you still live in Greenwich? She began as her breath sucked at the shock of cold. Well, Morgan than still. Hold on, I'm gonna change the song real quick. There we go. Lovely. Where are we? Well, again more than still. I lived in New Haven a while. Yale. Yes, I did some postgraduate work yes, I did some postgraduate work, pardon me, and taught for a couple of years. At Yale? Yeah. She narrowed her eyes at him as they walked the path. Seriously? Well, yeah, people do teach at Yale. It's highly recommended given the students. So you're like a professor? I am like a professor, but only now I teach here, at Winterfield Academy. You came back to teach high school at your alma mater. That's kind of sweet. I missed home. What can I say? And teaching teenagers is interesting. She thought she was bound to be more volatile. I'm not sure if that's how you say it. Though that might be interesting. What do you teach? English literature, actually. Creative writing. Henry V. There you go. Miss Brown had me out here a couple of times when I was working with Dell. I was sorry to hear about the accident. She was an incredibly nice woman. Best ever. We can go in this way. It's too cold to walk all the way around. She led them in through the mudroom, into the warmth. You can stow your gear over here. You're still on the early side. We'll get you some coffee in the meantime. She shed coat, scarf, hat while she spoke, moving quickly. No event today, so the main kitchen's clear. She picked up her bags again, while he carefully hung his coat, as opposed to the way she tossed hers in the direction of the hook. She seemed to vibrate with movement while standing still, as he hauled up the large bag again. We'll find you a quick place to. Mac broke off as Emma walked towards the main kitchen. There you are. Paco was about to. Carter? Hi, Emmeline. How are you? I'm fine. Good, actually. How did you. Sherry. I didn't realize you were coming in with Sherry. She is. He is and he isn't. I'll explain. Get him some coffee, and will you? And get some ice for his head. I've got to get these for the bride. Emma pursed her lips, and as she studied the scrape, and said, "Ouch! What did you do?" I walked into a wall. You can skip the ice. It's doing okay. Well, come in for a seat and have some coffee. I was just coming back to do a setup for the consult. She led the way, gestured for a stool and a long, honey-coated counter. Are you here to give some moral support? Pardon me. Give some moral support for the bride and groom. I'm standing in for the groom. He had an emergency. I'm standing in for the groom. He had an emergency. Emma nodded as she got up a cup and a saucer. You'll have that with the doctors. Aren't you the brave brother? I said no in several different ways. None of them worked. Thanks, he said. Well, he added as she poured in the coffee. Take comfort. You'll just have to sit there and eat cookies. He dumped some cream into his coffee. Can I get in that in writing? She laughed and began to arrange cookies on a plate. Trust me. Added to it, you'll score major good brother points. How are your parents? My parents are good. I saw your mother last week at the bookstore. She loves that job. Emma handed him a cookie. Max should be about done with her client. I'm going to take these in, and I'll come back for you. I guess if I just hit in here, I'd lose the brave brother title. You would. I'll be back. He'd known Emma through Sherry and their respective parents' friendship since they'd been children. It was just odd to think of Emma making his sister's bridal bouquet. It was just odd that his little sister needed a bridal bouquet in the first place. It was a disorienting somehow as he walked into a stupid wall. He gave his forehead a little poke, winced. It wasn't so much that it hurt, which it did, but that everyone would ask him what happened. He'd be explaining his own clumsiness repeatedly. Every time he did, he'd get a mental flashback to Mackenzie Elliott in a really, really tiny bra and a low slung back pant. He ate the cookie and tried to decide if that was a perk or a burden. Emma came back for him for another tray. You might as well come in on out. I'm sure Sherry will be here any minute. My God, honestly, this is interesting. I'm screenshotting this. I am screenshotting this. This is a highlight of my day. Absolute highlight of my day. Saved. And yes, I am on my good old Ramble screen. I am saving this as we speak. That is cute. This interaction is cute. It's absurdly human too. Okay, that aside. Ladies and gentlemen, I am gonna have to take a bathroom break. Cause holy cow, yeah, you guys know me. My bladder is weak. It is as weak as my sex life. Pardon me. Alright, yes, I'm gonna do the good old be right back screen. I'm really proud of this. I'm very proud of this good old be right back graphic. It's cute. It's y'all flushing me down a toilet. Alright, I'm gonna go disappear into oblivion and I shall be right back. There we go. I shall be right back. We only have like 15 minutes of stream left, interestingly. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think I left you with a very good offline, not an offline screen rather. Be right back screen. Okay, I am back. Yippee! Hey, thanks Sticky. Honestly, I'm really glad to have you, Sticky. You're a blessing. You're a blessing to me and my community. So, where were we? Hoi hoi, yo, Kappa! You joined at a very late time, or actually, ironically, hey Kappa, I am getting into a very hilariously spicy part of the romance novel that we've been reading. Not sure if you guys can read it from here, but honestly, hey, I do understand. I am second monitor content. I am 10th tab, minimized tab content. So hey, feel free to use me as background. So I'm gonna go thank you guys and I'm gonna keep reading for 7 more minutes. Oh no, son, why? Hey, Kappa, you know what's interesting? I got this book that and you guys are watching me read right here. This is one of my mom's recommendations. This is literally a book not meant for a target audience like me. This book has the target audience of women in their 30s and 40s who are single and sad and dreaming up a romance, you know? And it's great. So, currently we are reading Nora Roberts' Bride Quartet collection of 4 books. And currently we are on page 47. We are following through with the story of Mackenzie. Mackenzie is a lovely lady who got her job as a wedding photographer along with her 3 other friends, her 3 other best friends. And currently, Nora Roberts, say no more. Bless. And yes, currently we really got into a spicy part. Not as spicy as I would like, as I'm expecting. I own 4 novels from my aunt-in-law. Hey, exactly. Nora Roberts is great. So currently we are following through with what's his name again? I forget his goddamn name. Hold on, Carter. Currently, Carter is the love interest. Carter is the love interest in this novel, and at least this first book. And currently the good old handsome love interest has bumped into our protagonist's dearest Mackenzie, and currently he bumped his head, and interestingly he got so disoriented, but apparently hilarious story recap. So interestingly, Mackenzie unfortunately spilled some soft drinks on her shirt, so she had to remove it, throw her clothes into the laundry, And currently, she bumped into Dearest Carter in the laundry room when she was wearing nothing but a bra and pants. And and of course, Carter bumped into a wall and hurt himself. Hilariously, it's an absolute anime moment. You know, the cliche reaches here too. So, so Mackenzie, our dearest Mac, tries to help him. Like, oh Carter, are you okay? And poor Carter was staring right into the boobs, while poor Mackenzie, was just trying to innocently help the injured Carter. Like here, it was as disorienting somehow as walking into a stupid wall. He gave his forehead a little poke and winced. It wasn't so much that it hurt, which it did, of course, but that everyone would ask him what had happened. He'd be explaining his own clumsiness repeatedly because of the wound. And every time he did, he'd get a mental flashback to Mackenzie Elliott in a really tiny bra and a low-slung back pants. He ate the cookie and tried to decide whether that was a perk or a burden. My God, dude. I'm liking this book so far. I'm actually genuinely invested. Ladies and gentlemen, I am unironically invested. When them tits do be banging though, he can't stop looking so much he slams into a wall. Exactly, man. Exactly. Man, I'm loving this book. And unfortunately, we only have 8 minutes left for stream. I'm gonna see if I can actually finish this chapter in time. No, I don't think we're gonna be able to finish this chapter on time. It takes me at least 3 minutes per page. 2 or 3 minutes per page. We currently have until page 54 for the good old chapter 3. Currently we are on chapter 2, so yes. Admittedly, if you guys check the chat over here, hold on, let me pardon me. Was I peaking? Was my actual volume peaking? Pardon me if my mic was struggling to keep up with my sounds. So, interestingly, if you check the pinned comment on our good old chat, you can actually download this book for yourself. I have unironically torrented the book online. You know, Twitch may ban me for this. But honestly, I have no regrets. I have no regrets whatsoever. That aside, though. I'm gonna put that back. Emma came back for him, and for another tray. You might as well come on out. I'm sure Sherry will be here any minute. Because she's already 10 minutes late, he took the tray from her. She's on Sherry time. The house was as much as he remembered it. The walls are soft, muted gold now, where his memory said they'd been an elegant, understated green. But the wide, ornate Tim was as glossy, the space as generous, and the furnishings as gleaming. Art and antiques, flowers and old, exquisite crystal-illuminated wreath. Wealth and class, rather. Yet he remembered, it felt not like a mansion, but a home. It smelled female, a sort of floral and citrusy, at the same time. The woman sat, forming a cozy conversation area in the large, coffered ceilinged drawing room, where a fire snapped and sizzled in the big hearth, and winter sunlight splashed through the trio of arched windows. He was used to being outnumbered by females, as he was the middle child with 2 sisters bookending him. So he supposed he survived the next hour. Parker popped out of her chair with all smiles and polish, crossing the room, hands extending. Katze, it's been a while. She kissed his cheek, kept his hand in hers as she drew him toward the fire. Do you remember Laurel? Ah, we were all kids. Smooth and easy, Parker nudged him into a chair. Emma mentioned you'd come back to teach at Winterfield. Was it strange going back as a teacher? At first it was. I kept waiting for somebody to assign homework. Then remembered, oh yeah, that's me. Sorry about Sherry. She's in her own clock, and she usually runs behind. I could call. The doorbell cut him off, and brought him desperate relief. I'll get it. Emma rose and headed out. How's the head? How's the head? Mac asked, lolling in the back of her chair with her coffee cup tucked in both hands. It's fine, it's nothing. What's happened? Parker asked. Oh, I just wrapped it. I'm always into doing things like that. Really? Mac asked, smirked into her coffee. Alright, you know what? We are on now page 59. Unfortunately, that is all for us today. I am gonna have to go. Hold on. Hold the hell up. I'm gonna do a good old be right back screen real quick. Hold on. Gonna change my positions. Gonna save my Varudo setup as well. Okay. Hold on. Hold the hell up. Alright, I'm just gonna load some assets in. Hey, alright, here we are. Hey, hello, it's me, it's back. It's back. I'm Nick. Welcome, Nick, I'm back. Okay, that aside, hi. Thank you all for joining me in this weird, unconventional stream. I just want to try something out. Hey, if you guys aren't into it, actually, was my volume going okay? Hi back, welcome back. Hey, thank you. Was the volume okay? I'm not actually sure if the volume was actually okay. Honestly, I couldn't tell. I think my mic has been a little louder lately. It has been hitting like a red. It has been hitting like red status here in my OBS. Like here. Oh my god, it reaches red sometimes when I talk normally. So is my volume okay? You guys let me know. And in the meantime, hi. I do appreciate you guys stopping by. Volume seems fine, but I'm wearing earpiece. Huh? That's fine. It's very nice. Appreciate the feedback. So, Antomeow, thank you for stopping by. Taddy, thank you for stopping by. If you're still here, appreciate ya. And Anta, hi. I am planning out your origami gift, by the way. I'm gonna gift you something soon, Anta. Stay on your knees. Not on your knees. Stay on your toes, rather. I'll keep you posted, rather. And Kappa, thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. And Yata, if you're here by any chance, thank you for the shout out. I do appreciate it. And that will be all for us today. If you guys have any suggestions on who we can raid out, do let me know. If not, we will be raiding into one of our friendos. Let's see who is available. Huh. Karen. We are gonna raid into good old Karen. She's a very lovely VTuber. She has a great voice. She speaks Japanese, but mostly English on her streams. And it's absolutely lovely. Hold on, where's my goddamn hand? There's my hand. Yippee! I'm gonna raid into Karen. She's a lovely streamer, and honestly, she's absolutely a vibe. Absolute vibe. So, I'm gonna raid you guys out. Thank you for stopping by. I really do appreciate you guys, stopping by for this weird unconventional stream. I might be doing this more, just, for slow-paced things during work, before work. Because honestly, I'm definitely gonna need like slower paced streams nowadays. Otsunek, hey, thanks Sticky, I do appreciate it. Raid Karen Pyong. Absolutely lovely. You guys are gonna go right over here. So, don't forget the raid message. Hey, thank you Sticky. Don't forget the sub raid. Give me the sub raid. Hey, my god, maybe I should open up mod applications for you, Sticky. My god, maybe I should mod you. Hey, Sticky, what do you think? Would you like to be a mod for my channel? Would ya like to be a mod for my channel? That aside though, let me know what you think. I'm gonna raid you guys out over here. Gonna double check all my systems are go. I'll see you guys again soon as always. Bye bye. Would mobile work? Yeah. Honestly, hey, it's mostly just for the shiny green badge. It's a shiny green badge makes you, if it makes you happy, hell yeah. Never been a mod? Yeah, that's fine. You know what? I'll tour you through being a mod next time. I will actually tour you through being a mod. I've been a mod for 2 channels. For Jiggy. For both Jiggy and another channel that I really like and enjoy. So, I'll see you guys again really, really soon. Bye bye. All the love and hugs.